All right, everyone. Welcome to episode 10 of our music reviews. 3 days a week now. It's a brand new month. It's also my birthday month, so I get super excited about March. But today, in honor of Netflix releasing the Biggie documentary, I got a story to tell. We are doing the Notorious B.I.G's Ready to Die. Ready to Die is the debut studio album, but released by the Notorious B.I.G. on September 13th of 1994 through Bad Boy Records and Arista Records. Production on the album was featured from Young Cheddar, Bad Boy founder Sean Combs, better known as Puffy, Puff Daddy, however you want to call him, Easy Moby, Chucky Thompson, DJ Premier, and Lord Finesse, among the others. The album was recorded from 1993 through 1994 at the Hit Factory and D&D Studios in New York City. The partly autobiographical album tells the story of the rapper's experiences as a young criminal, and was sadly the only studio album released during his lifetime, as he was murdered 16 days before the release of his second album, Life After Death, in 1997. There was approximately 3 singles from the album: Juicy, Big Papa, that with B-side Warning, and One More Chance. So Ready to Die peaked at number 15 on Billboard's 200 and was subjected to widespread critical acclaim and soon a commercial success. 3 singles were released from the album. Like I was mentioning, there was a promotional single, Warning. Juicy, the lead single, peaked at number 27 on the Billboard Hot 100, number 14 on Hot R&B Hip Hop Singles and Tracks. Reached number 3 on the Hot Rap Singles. Big Papa was a hit on multiple charts, peaking at number 1 on Billboard's Hot 100 and also being nominated for a Grammy Award for Best Rap Solo Performance at the 1996 Grammys. Biggie's lyrics on the album were generally praised by critics, with many praising his storytelling ability. 24 years later, in April of 2018, Ready to Die was certified 6 times platinum by the Record Industry Association of America. The album was significant for revitalizing the East Coast hip-hop scene and West Coast, amid which the West Coast hip-hop's commercial dominant. It has been ranked by many critics as one of the greatest hip-hop albums, as well as one of the greatest albums of all time. Rolling Stone ranked it at number 22 in the list of its 500 greatest albums of all time. Also, Time Magazine has included it in one of its list of all-time 100 albums. Biggie was 21 years old when he recorded the album. Biggie started recording the album in 1993. Back in 1992, Biggie was signed to Uptown Records by A&R Sean Puffy Combs. When Puffy was fired from Uptown, Biggie's career was hung on limbos as the album was only partially completed. So here's what a lot of people may not know about Biggie. Biggie did record a song which was on the soundtrack to a movie called Who's the Man, which was entitled Party and BS. That was actually Biggie's very first hit. Then he later appeared on the remix to Real Love with Mary J. Blige, which was on the What's the 411 remix album released later in 93. So after a brief period of drug dealing through North Carolina, which Biggie was busted on, Biggie returned to the studio the following year on Puffy's Bad Boy label, possessing a smoother, more confident vocal tone, and completed the album. In the stage, the more commercial sounding tracks of the album were recorded, including the album's singles. But between the 2 stages, XXL Magazine writes that Biggie's moved from writing his lyrics in notebooks to freestyle from his memory. The album was released with a cover depicting an infant resembling the artist, though sporting an afro, which pertains to the album's concept on the artist's life from birth to his death. It has been listed as one of the best hip-hop album covers of hip-hop. Another album cover that year was Nas' Illmatic, which he had a younger version of him on the front cover, was another. And then years later, you got Lil Wayne with the Carter 3, Kendrick Lamar, Good Kid, Mad City, Drake with Nothing Was the Same. Those are all fire album covers with baby pictures on them on the album cover. So there's lyrical themes for the album were generally praised by critics. Many critics applauded his storytelling abilities, such as what all music writer Steve Huey, who writes, his raps are easy to understand, but his skills are hardly lacking. He has a loose, easy flow and a talent for piling multiple rhymes on top of one another in quick succession. He also wanted on to mention that his lyrics are firmly rooted in a reality, but like play like a scene from a movie. Torre, writing for New York Times, referred to Notorious B.I.G., proclaiming that he stood out from other rappers because his lyrics mix autobiographical details about crime and violence and with emotional honesty, telling how he felt while making a living as a drug dealer. The album is also noted for its dark tone and sinister sense of depression. In the original Rolling Stone interview, Chio H. Coker declared that he maintains a consistent level of tension by juxtaposing emotional highs and lows. Things Done Change was also one of the few hip-hop songs in the Norton Anthology of African-American Literature. The lyrics on Ready to Die tend to deal with violence, drug dealing, women, alcohol, and marijuana use, other elements of Biggie's environment. He rapped about these topics in clear, sparse terms, allowing the lyrics to hit the first time you hear them. The album contains a loose concept, starting out with an intro that details his birth, his early childhood, his adolescence, and his life at the point of the album's release. Songs on the album range from homicide narratives on Warning to braggadocious battle raps such as The What, which features Method Man, Unbelievable. And the final song, Suicidal Thoughts, is a song where the Notorious B.I.G. finally contemplates and commits suicide at the end of the album. Critical now, such a like Ready to Die has become highly acclaimed. It's within its legacy, within its over 20, almost 27 years it's been out. Ready to Die has been highly acclaimed. In 1998, The Source included it in its 100 best best rap albums of all time. And in 2002, it was re-rated to the maximum 5 mics, which it was originally rated 4.5 in 1994. Ready to Die. Rolling Stone has given acclaim to Ready to Die over the years. In 2003, they ranked it number 133 in their 500 greatest albums of all time, number 134 in its 2012 revised list, and recently number 22 in a 2020 revised list. In 2004, the album was re-rated to 5 stars. In 2011, Rolling Stone placed it at number 8 on their 100 best albums of the 90s list, which described it as mapping out the sounds of 90s is cool. Killian Murphy from Stylist magazine wrote favorably of the album in a retrospective review and concluded sweet, hypercritical, sensitive, violent, depressed, and jubilant. These words could all fittingly describe Big at various points of on Ready to Die. In 2006, Time Magazine included it on their 100 greatest albums of all time and listed and stated, Ready to Die, Biggie took his street corner experiences and filtered them through his considerable charm. The result was a record that mixed long stretches of menace with romance and lots of humor. No rapper ever made multi-syllabic lyrics sound as smooth. The album was also included in the book 1001 Albums You Must Hear Before You Die. So it's been also on other accolades. It's also been recognized by other albums. Entertainment Weekly named it one of its 100 best albums from 1983 through 2008. It was also included. MTV also ranked it number 4 on their greatest hip-hop albums of all time back in 2005. The Source magazine, it was recognized twice by the Source magazine. As I mentioned, it was included in its 100 best rap albums of all time. And again in 2006, the critics' top 100 black music albums of all time, which ranked at number 8. Spin magazine named it one of its top 90 albums of the 90s in 1999, where it ranked at 27. Also ranked at number 30 in 2005 when they revised its 100 plus 5 albums over the last 20 years. Number 43 in 2010 of the 125 best albums of the past 25 years. Time magazine, as I mentioned, also Vibe magazine named it twice in 1999, 100 essential albums of the 20th century, and again in 2007 on 150 albums that define the Vibe era, which from when Vibe magazine did their 150th issue, they did the albums that were released between 1992 and 2007. So, like I said, it's such a dynamic album. If you like Biggie, you know, like the whole East Coast, like this was one of those big albums, the albums that was a big impact on the East Coast. You know, like previous albums, like throughout the years, you've had Tribe Called Quest with Low End Theory, Illmatic by Nas, Enter the Wu-Tang 36 Chambers, and then, you know, and then later on you had other hip-hop albums, like East Coast albums jump big on the East Coast, especially in New York, such as Reasonable Doubt by Jay-Z, The Infamous by Mobb Deep, Only Built for Cuban Links, Raekwon, It Was Written, Nas. But yeah, this is such a good album right here. 17 tracks, 69 minutes. It's an easy 10 album, like a 10 out of 10. Top 5 tracks. Warning, Big Papa, Juicy, The What, Suicidal Thoughts. Those are all good. Other good records on here are the title track, Ready to Die, One More Chance, and Everyday Struggle. Like I said, and it's just an amazing album. Certified gold. So then, yeah. So like I said, such an amazing album from Biggie right here. For those of you, if you have not watched the I Got a Story to Tell documentary on Netflix, watch it. I would advise you guys to watch it. I'm going to be watching it tonight. And that will conclude the end of this video. I'll be back on the air Wednesday. Click, like, subscribe, follow my YouTube channel. And as Biggie says, if you don't know, now you know. Peace out.